Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
No, that's right. My name is Mike P. Raworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on The Rundown, 2A views, conservative news. And Craig, guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
That's right, folks. It is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But the fun, as usual, is always in the trying. So how's your Hump Day going thus far, sir?
You know, I thought it was going all right, but now I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, is my chair crooked? Is the screen crooked? Or maybe, I think probably what it is, Craig, is I just been looking at people like this all day. Like, seriously.
Like, really?
Seriously. So I think my neck's just crooked today from doing that so much. So.
I feel you, sir. I feel you. I'm actually kind of enjoying this day thus far because it's going to be the last day before we hit 5 straight days of 100-degree weather here in Sacramento. So we've actually been enjoying some fine, like, mid 80s, very, very comfortable, like San Diego type weather.
So, well, that's great. That's wonderful. Yesterday, you say that, I go to a place yesterday where I was a gathering of military folks. Let's say that, right? And I get there and walk up, and they're like, and they're all going inside. I go, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "It's 104 degrees outside." I go, "It is not." And I pulled out my phone, and it was 103. So I was right, but
You were right.
But I've been out. I've been outside. Remember telling you all the yard work and everything I've been doing the last 2 weeks and all the heat. I was like, this is a nice day. It's like 85, 90 out. I was off by 20 degrees. It was just because I've been out in the sun so much. I guess I'm getting used to it.
Well, I noticed that you had a little bit more color, but I thought that was because as I watched the lines in the bottles behind you were going down.
Oh, I thought that was because of June 19th. You were saying I had more color. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're not going there. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. You're trying to be included, aren't you?
Right. I am. You could include me anytime, Craig. You could be my wingman any day.
All right, before we get started, Mike, how about a shout out to our sponsors?
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. You got an AR in the past 5 years, you probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Now you can buy direct from them for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR rifle. Go visit them at hitmanindustries.net. First responder discounts available. Just give them a call. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Pay special attention to the California 6th Congressional District race. If you want the best in concealment holsters on the market, tactical concealment holsters, check out our friends at Hog Holsters, HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all one word, all caps, no spaces. Get you a nice little discount there on your next purchase. And of course, if you're heading out to the woods, to the forest, to the desert, wherever you happen to be going, fishing, hiking, camping, check out our friends with uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit them. Just hit the links in the description of this program. Hit their links to their websites. Check them out. Spend some money with them. And make sure you tell them that was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also, if you have not already done so, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. And encourage your friends to do the same. Let them know this is the place where the conversation, is taking place.
Right here. Right here is where that combo is taking place.
All right. The president has hit the road. That's right. They're no longer doing Weekend at Bernie's. Now it's a road show. And the road show is all about Bidenomics. Yeah, that's right. That's a new term that they have coined called Bidenomics. And the whole point of Bidenomics is, well, how do I want to put this? I like the way Breitbart did it. They said Bidenomics, keep talking about infrastructure without actually building anything. And really what Bidenomics is about, it's about promoting this idea that they've spent all this money, or all this money is now out there that's supposed to be building projects and supporting the middle class, but it's really about printing money and giving it away. And I'll read a little bit of this article here over at the Washington Free Beacon. It'll give you an idea what I'm talking about. It says, faced with high inflation and shaky stock market, half of Americans believe they are worse off now than they were a year ago. And starting Wednesday, President Joe Biden is planning to tell the people that this is a good reason to vote for him, traveling to Chicago to tout Bidenomics in what his aides are calling a cornerstone address. Senior White House advisors circulated a memo on Monday previewing what they characterized as Biden's economic accomplishments: enormous domestic spending, higher taxes, and favorable treatment for unions. Bidenomics, the memo says, is both a winning economic strategy that is delivering results and an approach that is strongly supported by the vast majority of American people. Mike, I just have one question for them. What polls are they reading?
Yeah, the ones where put Hillary in front in 2016, they're reading those polls. Greg, I love when they explain to you what Bidenomics is. What's Bidenomics? Oh, it's our new plan. Yes, but what is it? Well, it's going to bring strength to America. Yes, but how does it help our economy? It's a wonderful thing, and it's going to be great for all of us. I think you're missing the question here. I mean, I bet you Bidenomics, they came up with Bidenomics when he slurred another group of words. I bet that's how they came up with that term. You could see it in your own head. I don't need to do the voice. This is this is the kind of plan, Craig, you have if you want to change the economy and it's part of your campaign speech when you want to become president. This is not something you stumble on 2.5 years into your presidency and say, oh, maybe we should worry about the economy. But we're not going to define it. We're just going to tell people how great it is. This is just more joke. And people will go and hear the word Bidenomics because you've got your Biden suckers out there. They're going to hear it and think it's the most wonderful thing in the world and not have any idea what it means, and they're going to support it.
Well, but once again, all of the economic indicators are telling them, have to be telling them the exact opposite of what it is they're trying to say. They're trying to say that things are going great. Well, guess what? The only good thing is that unemployment is down, and that's because a lot of people have just stopped looking for work because they're living off the government. And in many cases, even if it's not money coming from the feds started programs or funded programs by states, and the states, in many cases, or at least in many blue areas, are continuing those programs despite the fact that they can't afford them. They're using right now the last of their COVID money to continue to fund those programs in hopes of getting through this next election.
Yeah, hopes is the key word, right? And that's what they're trying to do. There's and I know we'll get to some of these topics, today and throughout the rest of the week. More and more dirt keeps coming up on this guy, and hope that he has the rest of his presidency is the key words there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out exactly who exactly this is good for. What I believe it's good for is it's good for the economy's been good for special interests. Bidenomics, in my opinion, is taking income from those. It's income redistribution, taking from those who've earned, right, giving it to the special interests, and the government taking their cut in the process.
Isn't that Robin Hoodonomics? I think that's what that is.
No, Robin Hood didn't take a cut, and he gave it to the poor.
That's right. There you go. Okay,
the special interests generally aren't poor.
Yeah, this would have been Sheriff of Nottingham-onomics.
There you go. Sheriff of Nottingham-onomics. That's a little more appropriate. Speaking of inappropriate, did you hear? And it was funny because I didn't hear it till after we did I did the show yesterday. But there were during some of the pride parades, there were actually people who were marching in the pride parades who were going and saying, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children." Now, NBC, who we know is this conservative bastion of, just conservative right-wing news outlet, they came out and tried to say that, well, they've been doing this for years and it's not a big deal. They've been saying this chant for years at pride events. Doesn't really mean anything. Here, I'll read the story. Conservatives and more criticized NBC News for claiming that "We're coming for your children" chant, which was heard at New York City's drag march, has been used for years. NYC Drag March's original organizer, Brian Griffin, told NBC News it was all just words and that it was presented to fulfill their worst stereotypes. The "coming for your children" chant was I hesitate because I almost did it in a effeminate voice, but I decided against it. The "coming for your children" chant has been used for years at pride events, according to longtime marchers, attendees, and gay rights activists, who said it's one of many provocative expressions used to regain control of slurs against LGBTQ people. And in this case, they said right-wing activists are jumping on a single video to weaponize an out-of-context remark to further stigmatize the queer community, NBC News report. Now, Mike, a parade where guys are riding naked with the twig and berries all hanging out on bikes. Guys in assless chaps are in the bed of trucks being whipped by their lovers. You have grown men half naked twerking in front of little children, and this is stigmatizing them.
Yeah. By the way, Craig, everything you just said is a crime to do in front of children in Florida. So we still got room, folks. Come on down. Craig, this is obviously wrong. This is obviously ridiculous.
The kids get extra credit in California for watching it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do. Craig, I did a little more research on this. I actually found an apology from the organizers of this parade. It says, hold on, let me read it here. It says, "When we said we're coming for your children, we did not mean we are pedophiles. We meant we're going to groom them now, then have sex with them when they're 18. That's what they meant."
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what they meant. But I'm like, but here's the thing. Keep in mind, in this particular context, what we're talking about here is there are many parents who are upset that you are including sexual content in material for in particular public school, but mostly elementary school kids, and you're doing it all under the LGBTQ banner. You're defending it under the LGBTQ banner. And then you go and you have a group out there chanting this, and we're not supposed to take that as what it means.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And then that's what, listen, they're saying it. We don't have to guess what it means, Craig. They're saying it. This is not one of those, oh, I don't like LGBT because they're going to go after my kids. No, this is the group of them saying, we're coming after your kids. And these are not the, and listen, I don't know the numbers. I don't know percentages. I don't get into this. Are there, like we talked about yesterday, legitimate people that live their lives as LGBT people and don't bother anybody else? Just like every aspect of society, yes. Well, here's the ass clowns that decide they want to go out and give all of them a bad name. And there's legitimate, people that walk around LGBT and that are face palming themselves right now, go, why can't these idiots stop? Why can't we? You're keeping us from having normal lives.
You said ass clown.
It's one of my favorite terms. No talent ass clown.
I mean, just given the context, it's particularly hilarious.
Yeah, it fits. If the ass clown fits, wear it.
But think about this, though. There is a mound of evidence. The media will never show you the actual books that are in the schools. They won't show you genderqueer. They won't show you flamer. They won't show you this book is gay because, well, in many cases, because they know that if they show the content that is in those books on air, they'll be fined by the FCC. That's why they won't show it to you. That's why they won't put the actual pictures in the newspaper, because they know that it will be labeled pornography.
They should put it on CNN. They won't have to worry about anybody seeing it.
If they don't want anybody to see it, just put it on CNN.
That's it, yeah.
But anyway, so look, folks, just a note, because I know trans people, I know LGBTQ people, I know that they are not supportive of a lot of this stuff. They're just like you said, they want to live their lives just like we want to live our lives. But I'm telling you, this sort of stuff. And by the way, just so you know, the stuff that you're seeing and you're hearing now, the stuff that's on Twitter where people are putting out and actually exposing what goes on at some of these events, the stuff is not new. People actually going ahead and recording it and exposing it, that's new. But this has always, I remember going to the beta breakers back in the 90s, and a lot of this crap was going on. That was in a race in San Francisco. I will tell you, yes, it is. None of it is new. A lot of this stuff is not new. The problem is now they're mainstreaming, and they're not just mainstreaming it, but they're wanting often many times to put it in our public schools. And I say no.
Well, I remember it in living in New York, living in the city. You know, they had the Gay Pride Parade, and that's been going on for decades, right? And it was we're queer, we're here, get used to it. It wasn't we're queer, we're here, we're in your face, we're coming for your children. Okay, you have to have a line. You want to live your life and you want to be proud. Okay, you want to start imposing your nonsense on. I don't care if your policy is, I like goats. We're coming for your children. No, that's.
and by the way, we've gone from now. Keep in mind, in society as a whole, various different studies and polls have said that 3% of society just identifies as LGBTQ. Less than 1% trans. Now you've got, they say now like 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 Gen Zers identify as LGBTQ. Now you cannot tell me that came out of nowhere, that all of a sudden, if this is something that just naturally happens and you're naturally that way, then you can't tell me that this is not this is not something that naturally happened. This is something that was inculcated, that was indoctrinated into a generation.
Agreed. Absolutely.
All right. Oh, what do we have next? Oh, well, speaking of young children and schools, Iowa's schools have been threatened over armed teachers. So Iowa has a state policy where they allow teachers to be armed on campus. Well, a couple of Iowa schools actually instituted a program where they were allowing teachers to be armed on campus, and they had to reverse those policies amid threats of losing insurance coverage. It says here, 2 Iowa schools are now reversing the decision to allow staff to carry firearms under the threat of losing their insurance coverage. Spirit Lake and Cherokee Community School Districts sent letters to parents explaining why they're backtracking on a policy which allows trained staff to carry firearms on school property. The letter from Spirit Lake said its insurance company, EMC, remember that name, EMC, warned the district in October that if they were at risk, of losing their coverage because of the plan to arm staff. Staff at Spirit Lake started carrying guns in February, a month later, EMC warned the district it could be looking at increased rates, higher deductibles, and lose some of their coverage when it comes time to renew. In May, the district received a non-renewal notice from EMC saying that its gun policy doesn't meet underwriting guidelines, meaning it's too much of a financial risk. Now, mind you, Mike, they have given absolutely no financial reason, no fiduciary reason why they have to give it up. There's absolutely no reason given that this makes them riskier, so therefore they should lose their coverage.
I'm a little disappointed in these two school districts. They have the bravery to come forward and say, we support the Second Amendment. We know that we can look at stats, we can look at numbers. We know that guns save lives and that metal signs don't work to protect our children. Yet the insurance company comes in and waves a big flag and says, we're going to take away your insurance coverage, and they cave. I don't know why they don't go public. I don't know why they don't make this an issue. I don't know why they don't challenge them. I don't know why I don't know why the governor comes up and says, screw your insurance companies. We'll self-insure you on the government side, on the state side. I don't understand how you could stand up to, for your rights. And then the first time somebody kicks you in the shin, you sit down. I don't understand that.
Well, I can tell you as a school district, they cannot operate without insurance coverage. So if they've lost their insurance coverage, and they can't pick up. I could see putting a pause on the policy to pick up a new insurance company.
Craig, you can also go straight to the courthouse and get a temporary restraining order restricting them from removing it based on you, going by your constitutional rights, abiding by your constitutional rights.
Yeah.
At least try. You at least
yes.
Go to the courthouse and apply for one.
Well, we don't know what all they did in that legal process. At least it doesn't say what they did, if they did to try and file an injunction or anything like that. It's, I don't want to put this. First of all, understand school district attorneys are always like scared of being sued, which is why I'm always surprised more gun rights folks don't sue school districts, because they will do whatever they got to do to get out of that school, to get out of that lawsuit. Most school districts will.
Duly noted. Got it.
I think the fact that they've taken this thing public, I think is to denote that what I'm hoping is that other insurance companies will step up to the plate and say, look, we will cover you, because I've got to believe, since there have been zero mass shootings or zero accidents involving firearms, or as far as I know, if there's some out there, feel free to share. At schools where teachers are allowed to arm themselves and are trained as well, there are fewer incidents at those schools than schools where schools are gun-free zones.
You're absolutely correct. So maybe that's their game.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that anyway. I get why they did what they did as policymakers, because you can't run a school district without insurance. Having said that, I think your point is well taken. They could have put up more of a legal fight. I get your point, and I agree with it.
Yep.
But folks, by the way, this is the reason why this is happening. Remember that term we talked about before: ESG, environmental, social, governance, investments. You have companies like BlackRock that are out, and Vanguard that are out there pushing basically Marxist, socialist, cultural Marxism as an investment strategy. And if you don't comply, they will devalue your company. And that's why you have insurance companies. That's why you have restaurants. That's why you have news stations and media companies all falling into this, is because they're afraid that these folks who control about $10 trillion in assets, they're afraid that they're going to come and devalue their company.
There you go. That's exactly what's going to happen to them.
Well, I say we, the people, devalue these companies.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're going to get devalued by these insurance companies, and that's why I say fight. You can go to listen. There's a lot behind the scenes. I know that, but my first thing the day I heard that, I'd be at the courthouse filing for a restraining order, restricting them from doing such, based on my observance of my constitutional rights. So
there you go.
And not only constitutional rights, Craig. It's not a constitutional rights issue. I'm sorry. The state of Iowa voted and allowed this.
Right.
So they're in compliance with the law, a constitutional law.
So being in compliance with the law now means they're going to lose their insurance.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but maybe that insurance company needs to lose the right to do business in that state.
Listen, I know a governor that would immediately put that restriction on them. I'm just saying.
I hear you. And by the way, speaking of companies that have gone woke and are going broke, Bud Light, it appears that they can barely even give away their beer. In fact, there is a story right now in the USA Today where it says Bud Light offers $15 beer rebates for 4th of July weekend amid boycott and declining sales. As the 4th of July weekend rolls in, Bud Light is offering a rebate of up to $15 on purchases of a 15-pack of Budweiser, Bud Light, Bud Select, or Budweiser Select 55. What is that, like your senior citizens beer? I've never heard of
It is, yeah. You can only get that with your AARP card.
There you go. And in places where the 15-pack sells for less than $15, the beer could be practically free. Bud Light's parent company Anheuser-Busch offered the same promotion over Memorial Day weekend. Now, this is an example of what happens when you fight back. Because, see, now the reason, there's a couple of things. Number one, the reason why they're losing money is because people in America have just stopped buying their beer. Even if you don't care about LGBTQ issues, you're not drinking Bud Light because, well, number one, no one's buying it and bringing it to the party. Number two, you don't want your friends talking trash about you drinking Bud Light. I can't tell you, the jokes abound. We'll just say that. But the other thing is that they came out and kind of have reversed gears on a lot of this stuff, and have tried to make up for it. And as a result, their ESG score has gone down. So now they're getting hit from that end. So here's the thing, folks. Yeah. Here's the thing, corporations. Stay out of the cultural Marxism. Stay out of the culture wars. Make beer. Sell products. And stay away from the culture wars, because you will lose. Because maybe we can't take down every company that does this stuff, but we can take down one at a time. And Bud Light seems to be the one that's going down at this moment in time.
Ah, I see. Very punny. Bud Light going down. Nice. Yeah. Get woke. Go broke, no joke, baby. Here's what happens. Yeah, like you said, Craig, when they came out with their initial new stance on Bud Light, it was not received well, and then Bud Light, they kind of like they didn't take a full backtrack on it. They took one or two side steps. It was enough to really anger the LGBT crowd. So, like you said, they're getting hit from both sides now. I know who is grateful for it, and that's the people over at Modelo. Modelo, thanks you very much. Modelo Especial es numero uno. Now, thank you to Bud Light. So, I did see in the story, Craig, as well. It said that Bud Light is trying to recover, and they've recently come up with new advertising campaigns for country music and the NFL. To which country music and the NFL said, "Oh no, we didn't have anything to do with this. Nope, leave us alone. Nope."
Yeah, it would probably be wise for them to stay away from it. Well, although, Garth Brooks has got his hit up Garth Brooks. He clearly seems to be down with y'all.
In other words, if you read Garth Brooks' original statements on this, or his statements on this, he's opening up some new Garth Brooks Playland and Honky Tonk or something like that. I forget what the name of it is, but they asked him, what kind of beer is he going to serve? And he said, all kinds of beer. And then immediately the media said, Garth Brooks serving Bud Light. Come on. The guy said they're serving all kinds of beer. He didn't realize you were asking him a politically, hot question. Okay.
No, he said, I'll serve it. And if anybody don't like it, yada, yada, yada. He had a little bit more. Well, okay. Maybe that wasn't his original statement. I don't know if it was his original statement. He did what Bud Light did wrong. He made a statement. It got received poorly. He made it worse. There you go. Okay. Yeah, because eventually he was like, well, if anybody don't like it, they can drink somewhere else. I'm like, and we will.
Yeah.
Funny.
It'll be the Garth Brooks Honky Tonk and Ghost Town tours.
Funny how that works.
Yep.
All right, it's time to move on to our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Get your Hog Holster today at hogholster.com. Just make sure you use discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. In light of, what's been going on at some of these Pride events, I thought that this one made a lot of sense. Happy Pride Day. You've got a man standing behind LGBTQ unit. Is it the unity flag? I forget
no
what
idea.
the new symbols on there, what they call it is. But needless to say, he's wearing high heels and nothing else, and he's showing himself to the kids. Now, that not everybody did that at Pride parades, but you can pretty much be assured that happened at a bunch of Pride parades over the last.
Just everybody at the parade did it. Yeah.
Just everybody at the parade. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And next, we'll move on to we'll talk a little bit about Hunter Biden. This is a fun one. Here you got you've got the first son, we'll call him, handing a pass. He gets a pass because he's a Prez kid, and it says wrong way, no guns, no tax evasion. And then you've got Hunter Biden driving through saying, "Nope, sorry, I'm the president's kid, so I get a pass."
What is that? Is that a little Honda CRX? What is that? What is that?
It's probably Chinese.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very true. Very true.
Fast
Good call,
and
good call,
Furious.
sir.
Oh no, wait, that's Obama.
There you go. There you go.
Too Fast, Too Furious. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Next along those lines, you have the President of the United States basically giving a speech. He's saying, "I just want the rich to pay their fair share of taxes." And then you got Hunter standing behind him. "Oh, gee, Dad." Not you, Hunter. Obviously. All right, this last one, Michael decided to share to kind of express the frustration with Bidenomics. Okay. It's got two little kids sitting in the back seat, kind of mad because they got to eat Totino's. It's not even DiGiorno pizza. They got to eat Totino's party pizza. It says, when you tell your daughters they have to eat store pizza because of Joe Biden economics.
Yep.
Who eats
That little girl,
Totino's?
She's pointing at you with that special finger there.
She's saying you're number one.
Yep. Right in the middle.
Oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yep.
All right, Mike. Well, it's about that time, sir, for us to call it a day. But before we do, obviously, we need to make sure to give a shout out once again to our sponsors.
Yep. Say hi to Hitman Industries again. HitmanIndustries.net. You can get yourself pistol and rifle calibers in any length barrel you desire. Just check them out at HitmanIndustries.net. Soon to come, Glock barrels. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you watch California's 6th Congressional District race. And then, of course, if you want some awesome field gear, going out hunting gear, or just hanging out on a picnic gear, get on over to uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, visit our sponsors, links in the description of the program, spend some money with them, tell them the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. We hope that you have a good time between now and then. And if you don't, well, we will.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Have some fun.